What is going on, YouTube? Welcome to the newest installment in the series. This is the Ascent. If you've been following along, we got injured, tore some stuff up, had some surgeries, rebuilt ourselves from where we were before. So if you watch that series, we went from benching barely the bar, overhead pressing barely the bar, to getting essentially back up to where I was before the injury, which was the entire goal. And then now that we've been consistently making progress, I think it's time to start overachieving. So this series is really going to document me trying to break past PRs, limitations, and stuff that I've had before. So it took some time, some humility to get back to where I was now, but I think we're in a good spot to begin that process of hitting weights I've never hit before and getting stronger that way. So you've noticed a lot of different changes came about in the last series. We joined a new gym. The current one you're watching now, I think I've been at since late 2018, 2019. So I've been here a while, trained different styles, and I've kind of set into what I'm supposed to do. Meaning, the strongman stuff, I just don't think I have the genetics and the build for it. I was able to hit some decent weights on stuff, but the schedule with which I train, the schedule at which I like to train, high volume, it's not really conducive to that, and that's what led to the injury. So I'm just going to go back to my roots, what I've always done, which is lift weights in a consistent manner and make progress and do things that make me happy. So you can see here we're back on the OHP, and I've limited range of motion just to protect my shoulder, deal with that new insertion point or lack of insertion point on the bicep. And the main goal here is to simply make things standardized so that I can, prepare weight-wise, program-wise, and kind of go from there. So we're going to try to get back. The one lift that probably hasn't approached where I was before is definitely the OHP. I used to do 198 for reps and stuff like that pretty routinely. But I need to get back there. I need to rebuild that confidence. And, we need to get back on track to what we were doing before. I think, reflecting on all that stuff before, it was an arrogance and an ego to think that I could just do all this stuff because it worked for me before and be able to recover. And when you start getting in those heavier and heavier sets, with the log or stuff, you have to dial in all your stuff. And I was just doing way too much, but that's how I like to train. I like to do the high volume stuff. It's kind of like a check to make sure, whether you get injured or suffer some nagging, body part issues or whatever. It's your body telling you something's not right, you're not recovering correctly, time to make some changes. And that's what I've done here is I've capped back some of the heavy style training, and I'm taking my time going back up there. I think at this point I haven't even touched any dumbbells over 100 pounds when it comes to like benching. And I want to get back up there. I want to get back to where I was before and then slowly, plant the seeds to make some life-term PRs and things become a reality. So that's what the goal is here. And I think, when you're young and in your 20s and you can recover quickly, your threshold is different for what you can handle. And I'm not saying, go to your routine and start splitting stuff out and do stuff like that. But basically, find the things that you enjoy that you can recover from and, run those things. Try different exercises, try different trains of form, and then see how they jive with whatever you're currently doing. So, as I mentioned before, here's the new gym. This is Iron Wolf in Schiller Park, Illinois. This is the leg factory, the leg size. Basically, if you wanted to be a bodybuilder, like this would be the place to be. So many different machines. And as somebody who is a free weight guy, I will always do my free weight stuff, my squats, deadlifts, bench, overhead press. But I do like machines when it comes to hitting certain body parts, especially if you like back. They have an entire upper body section with about I don't even know. Maybe, I can't even estimate. Several different machines when it comes to back, chest, everything there. And they've got the fundamentals. So you really are limited by your own creativity, and they're also continuing to buy new pieces of equipment, replace old pieces that may not be in use as much as they anticipated. So I'm liking that. And that's what you need. As you grow and change, try different training styles. It's hard to find a home that matches that. A lot of places are designed to just make profit. They just want to get people in the door, get memberships. They don't want to reinvest. So that's important to me. So I'm super happy they had a transformer bar here. This is probably going to be my main training style now. You can adjust the different angles to hit different types of squats. And I honestly don't think I'll ever go back to a barbell squat. It's just not conducive for not only what I want to do, but mobility and stuff too. A lot of times when I was doing the heavy barbell squats, my forearms would, get discomfort, uncomfortable wrist stuff, and that would carry over and bleed into my upper body workouts, which suck because I'm always trying to basically add weight over time, reps, stuff like that. So if I can take out one factor like that, still overload the lower body and build muscle that way, that's what matters to me. So again, a learning curve because it is a little bit different. It's not a straight one-to-one comparison to your traditional barbell or any other squat, variation you use, SSB, etc. But it's a good tool to have those variations if you want them. And then of course here, the sumo deadlifts. Starting off slower here on this new program. So I should have mentioned, I coincided a new program as I started this new series. So we're going to start with kind of that volume building phase with the heavier lifts. And then we're going to, work up to new PRs and heavy sets and stuff like that. So I'm going to show that all here. And again, anyone, if you're interested in a program, I'm not here trying to sell programs. There's thousands out there you can get. You can customize yourself. If you're the average corporate American worker, you know how an Excel spreadsheet works. And even if you don't, you can learn pretty quickly based off of the free ones that you can download and you can modify them. And this lifting stuff, I'm telling you, unless you're a world champion and you've got a timeline to where you need to hit certain weights to take a title or something like that, lifting weights is not hard. You add progressive resistance over time, take rests when you need it, and try to stay not injured. Eat to recovery, vary your calories depending on what you want to do. You want to gain weight, eat in a surplus. You want to lose weight, eat in a deficit. You want to maintain, just use those ranges to hit some sort of middle ground in between the two. And your body's always going to fluctuate with carbs and water and different salts and stuff like that. So consistency over time is the most important thing. So there's my little 2 cents on that. And, the whole point of documenting this is just kind of things that I do to make sure that I'm making progress. I like tracking all of my workouts. If you've been following any of my videos, I always, give you the summary, the actual workout log that I use. And so you're going to see the app here. If you're wondering about the app, it's Boost Camp, which you can download. You don't need to pay anything. But if you do build a program, it could take some time trying to plug all that in. You have to do it manually. So it is what it is. But anything that allows you to document what you're doing, and you can also kind of look at your past lifts. So when I'm programming and I hit my rep range from last week, especially on accessories, I can look back and know what I'm going to go do in this upcoming workout or the next time I hit these similar muscle groups. So obviously with the powerlifting focus, the heavier lifts and stuff are definitely calculated and coordinated, so I know what to hit. And then I'm basically freestyling the accessories. So you're going to kind of see that in the series here. It's going to be more structure because before on the build up to get to this Ascent, I was basically just going off a feel with the amount of weight I wanted to do, pulling back where I didn't feel good, and then exceeding when I did feel good. So it is what it is, and now we can do more different exercises, as uncomfortable as some of the angles may be, but just really showing you that you don't need to be a sports scientist to figure out how to work out. It's pretty simple. Do work, recover, do a little bit more work, keep recovering, pull back when you need to, and enjoy the ride along the way. So welcome to the Ascent series. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching the latest video. If you want to help support the channel, I actually own my own wet shaving and grooming e-commerce website where everything's handmade by me. It's www.apexsoaps.com, and you can get a 10% off code using wet shaver. We've got some cool scents here. We've got some Coca-Cola scents, a horchata scent, traditional barbershop, just some really cool stuff. And you can purchase samples or you can buy the whole set. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out via email. Be quick to respond. Thanks for watching.